Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. I was just talking to my neighbor. He was getting his mail, and he's completely lost his voice. And I was like, well, I hope you feel better. And he's like, I don't feel sick at all. He's like, I've just lost my voice. And then he was telling me about the trash schedule for the next couple weeks. But anyway, it's a very kind of gloomy, dreary Christmas Eve in Indianapolis. I guess kind of how Christmas Eve really should look, except for I feel like there should be a foot of snow on the ground, and it should be, you know, Christmas time is here, like the Charlie Brown's Christmas. That's what I feel like it should look like. But it doesn't. It just looks gray. And it's actually not even that cold outside. We should look and see how cold it is outside. It's currently 3:54 p.m. on December 24th, Christmas Eve, Tuesday. And the temperature outside is, it is 44 degrees and cloudy. So it's really not that cold outside. Okay, before I get into this vlog, I do want to say a few things. First of all, I don't think that this vlog is going to be super long. Second of all, I do not know if I'm going to vlog tomorrow or not. It just kind of depends on like what time we get home from Caroline's, how tired I am, whatever. I said that I was going to try to put up like even like a 20 or 30 minute vlog, and there was a few of you that were like, Peter, just take the day off, spend it with your family and stuff like that. I may end up doing that, like if we just get home and I'm tired and I just want to take a nap. But if I get home and I'm still like, you know, hey, let's go, then, I mean, I love to vlog and come over here and, you know, talk to you guys. So if we get home and I'm still kind of like, hey, you know, wanting to have a cup of coffee and just relax with you guys at the end of Christmas and tell you guys what happened and all that kind of stuff, then I will. So I don't know, but I will let you guys know. I will, if I do not vlog tomorrow, by the time that I know that I'm not going to vlog, I will put it up on, and it'll probably be later, I will put it up on the community tab for this channel. So you go to the channel and you look at community. And then it'll be underneath there, and I will also put it in the Vloggerinos group, just so you guys know. But I will say this. I do have 3 videos pre-filmed for tomorrow that will be going up on my other channels. So I will have something filmed and being posted tomorrow. 3 videos, actually. The third thing I wanted to say was that I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't celebrate Christmas, religiously or otherwise, or there's a lot of people out there that just don't like Christmas. And I'm going to be talking a lot about Christmas today because it's Christmas Eve and I do celebrate Christmas. So I don't want that to come across as offensive to anybody. You know, I'm just sharing what's going on in my life. You know, I know that there's a lot of people out there that, I even have friends of mine that I'm like, that are very bah humbug about Christmas, you know, and they do celebrate Christmas and they're, you know, still very bah humbug about it, but whatever, do you. But I'm just going to talk about what's going on in my life of Christmas, and this is my life of Christmas. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to light the candles. How are you guys doing? It feels surreal that it is Christmas Eve already. Like, it feels surreal. And I'll tell you when it hit me. I mean, I think I said something about it in the vlog yesterday about, like, it's like December flew by, which it really did. It hit me last night when I read the Advent calendar books for the 25 Days by Per Jacobson and the Xmas Break, which is horrible. So I only have 1 chapter left of each of those books, and then I'm done with them, which I'm going to read tonight, you know, at midnight, going into Christmas Day. I think it was when I, like, read the chapter last night, and it's like the books are almost over anyway. It's like basically all you have left is, like, the epilogue left to read. And so I just, like, you know, Nikki and I always text each other after we read the books, and she was saving them for today, and we were texting anyway. She was, you know, up late last night, and she was, like, wrapping stocking gifts and stuff like that. And so, I don't know if I can get this one. This one is, like, so far down. We'll see if I can get it or not. Come on. No, I can't get that one. I need a longer lighter for that. And so we were texting, and it's like, when I got done with them, I was like, we were talking about it, like, you know, we have 1 day left to read the books, because she was going to read them as soon as she got up today. And I was like, oh my God, we have 1 day left of these books. It's been, and I don't know, I said this to Alex today, earlier, and he just kind of looked at me and was like, yeah, it's the Advent 25 Days Advent calendar, you know, book. Because I go, I mean, we've been reading the books for 25 days. He just kind of looked at me like, I mean, I say the simplest stuff to people with like, but it feels so profound to me. Do you guys ever do that? Anyway, but it's just like, I was like, we've been reading this book like every day for 25 days. And like now it's over, you know? I will tell you this, like Nikki and I was just talking to her on the phone on our way home. And I said, because we went out to brunch and stuff, but I'll talk about that in a second. And so I was like checking in with her and whatever, and I was checking in with like Caroline and some other people. And so I was like, we should, because we were complaining about the Xmas Break book. If you read the 2 books, both of them, if you're somebody out there that read both the books like we did and some of my other friends did, 25 Days was pretty good. Xmas Break sucked. Okay, I mean, it was cheesy. And so we were talking about like, well, something happens at the end of 25 Days where it's like in a hospital. And I was like, did you think that something was going to happen? Like, and she's like, oh my God, I thought that too. I was like, see, we need to write this book. And I told her, I said, oh my God, we should write if I say it, listen, if I even say, I'm going to go in there and have soup, and tomorrow I come on here and I say I have a sandwich, oh my God, he had a sandwich instead of soup. But anyway, Nikki and I were like, we should write one of these advent calendar books together. She's like, oh my God, we totally should. So Nikki and I are going to write an advent calendar book, and then we're going to turn it into a major motion picture, and we're going to win an Oscar for it, and it's going to star Julia Roberts. It's a Christmas miracle. Put that on my list of long things, of my to-do things. I'm just an ideas guy. I like to come up with ideas and stuff like that. So anyway, there's a lot of traffic in the neighborhood today. But that was when it like occurred to me. I was like, I don't know why. I mean, obviously it's an advent calendar, right? But I was like down to the very last chapter. I have like literally like 5 pages of each, book to read. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm done with them. It's Christmas. It's Christmas, So, it kind of hit me late last night. And I said this yesterday, it's the weird thing about this Christmas. Was I saying it on the vlog, or was I saying it to somebody I was talking to on the phone? I feel like I talked to more people in the last 2 days than I have the whole month. But anyway, I think I was saying it on the vlog where it's like, it took me so long. Maybe I was saying it in a video because I pre-filmed, we'll get to that in just a second. I pre-filmed a lot of videos last night, or yesterday. So, after Boo Radley passed away, I don't think there was ever really like a thought in my head like, I'm not celebrating Christmas, F Christmas. I mean, I did think like, I don't know if I want to put up a Christmas tree this year. I don't really care. But it wasn't so much like because of that. I don't know really what it was. And it wasn't like, I hate Christmas, like Christmas sucks. I never felt that. I never felt that at all. I didn't feel super inspired or real excited about Christmas and stuff, And then the books, in all honesty, they really helped me because every night I would light the candles and I would read the advent calendar books and it would put me in the Christmassy mood. And I was thinking about this last night. And I was like, because the other day somebody was like, did you do a lot of Christmas stuff? And I was like, that person literally just like slowed down and almost stopped in front of my house and like looked over there and like waved right at me. And I was like, I really haven't done a whole bunch of Christmas stuff, but I actually have. Like, I've listened to Christmas books. I've read several Christmas books. Watched a lot of Christmas shows, movies. Went to Alex's mom's Christmas party the other night. Done some other Christmas stuff. I've done quite a bit of Christmas stuff this year, So it's been a good Christmas season. I feel like it's been a good Christmas season. I always feel like there's like so much more that I wish I would have done. Like I would have loved to have watched more of my favorite classic movies, that I haven't watched. But I mean, there's still some hours left to watch. But I have to be honest with you, like this year, I'm just super excited just to spend time with family. Like I'm just really excited to spend time with family. And we actually just loaded up all the presents in the car for Alex's aunt and uncle's house tonight. And we went to Fresh Time because he wanted to get a bunch of stuff because he's making a charcuterie board over there. And so he like bought all his cheese and like, he was like, I'm going to make it a vegetarian charcuterie board, which was really sweet because just FYI, when you make a charcuterie board, as a vegetarian, I'm always really afraid to eat off a charcuterie board because when there's like meat or salami or, things on there, it's always touching the cheese. I actually saw somebody post this on Instagram the other day, and I thought it was so funny. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't Instagram. It was my friend on Facebook. And what did he say? This is my friend from Denver that I almost went out there to move. He's a vegetarian, too. And what did he say about, oh, my God, charcuterie boards are sending me over the edge this holiday season. Keep your meat off my cheese. And that is so how I feel with charcuterie boards, okay? I live that he said that. Because this is the thing. Like, you go to a charcuterie board, okay? I love cheese and great. I love a charcuterie board, okay? But because you want to make it so cute and push everything together, everybody always pushes the meat onto the cheese, which is my favorite part, okay? As a vegetarian, is the cheese. I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian, so I love the cheese. But I'm like so afraid to eat it because it's like right up against the meat. And so I'm like, well, if it touched the meat and I eat the cheese, I'm going to get cross-contaminated. I'm going to get real sick. And so, which is like all the sicknesses in one. It's not a pretty night. So it's not even worth it. So just FYI for your vegetarian friends out there, if you know that there's one coming to your holiday party and you're making a charcuterie board, have like a little wooden bowl or a little bowl or something and put the meat in that and just keep it separate from everything else. I think that would be real nice. So Alex, anyway, though, he's making a vegetarian charcuterie board, which I thought was real sweet. I don't know why he got all excited. I said, are you making a charcuterie board? He goes, what's a charcuterie board? I go, that's what Amy and Tammy Slayton called on 1,000 Pound Sisters. He goes, I don't watch that show. I go, I know you don't watch that show. Trust me. Trust me, I know you don't watch that show. But anyway, I said, but they call it a charcuterie board. And apparently when I said that on one of my videos, I think it was like my Peter Watches TV channel, people were like, oh, everybody on the TikToks calling it a charcuterie board as well. That was the first time I'd ever heard it. So anyway, like he's making a charcuterie board. He was like, got all this kind of stuff. He's like, what, should I get this and whatever. Alex's mom made this. I like brie and I like other like camembert and stuff like that, but she made this camembert with nuts and stuff like that, and she like melted it for Caroline's house for Thanksgiving. And so I got a camembert for here and a camembert to take with us. So I don't know, we might take it to the other one to Caroline's house tomorrow. So he's gonna put that on the charcuterie board too. But he's making a vegetarian charcuterie board. I'm just excited to be with family tonight. I'm just really excited. It's been a fantastic Christmas Eve so far. Yesterday was, oh my God. Yesterday I just went and went and went. So let me tell you about yesterday, okay? So yesterday, the 23rd, Christmas Eve, I went and got my hair cut at 1 o'clock. I was back here by like 2:30. I can't remember how much I actually shared on the vlog. But first, like I wanted to pre-film some videos. But honest to God, I really thought, like I didn't think we were really going to do anything today. Except for just like, you know, be at the house and Alex will probably watch some TV shows and movies. I think he's trying to finish the 3rd season of, what's that, All Rise? He loves that show so much. And so I knew he'd just want to watch that. He wouldn't want to watch something Christmassy today and stuff like that because we never usually do on Christmas Eve. So I was like, well, I'll probably just film some videos today, you know? And so I wasn't like, my plan wasn't to like rush and make a bunch of videos. So yesterday I filmed my videos for yesterday and then I did my vlog and I got that up. And like Alex went to this like get together with some work friends of his last night. He was like not gone long at all. It was kind of, I mean, he got home and he's like, are you still filming? I was like, yeah, I still want to film a little bit more. He's like, that's fine, I'll just watch some TV. He went upstairs and I came downstairs and finished the rest of my videos down here. So last night, I don't know what time I got done with my vlog, but I kept on filming until 11:30 last night. I just was kind of on, I had so much fun, you guys. I had so much fun. I just kind of got on a roll. And, I mean, he was, like, literally gone at this thing, like, less than 2 hours. I thought he'd be gone the whole night. I was like, well, I'll film a video here, take a break, film a video there. I had so much fun, you guys, last night. I filmed 2 rant videos for my drama channel, one for today and one for tomorrow. I filmed a video of me talking about the wrapping paper and CVS and showing the wrapping paper. I filmed a video of the Pio unboxing. That goes up tomorrow. And then I filmed Peter's videos and some other stuff. I literally ended up filming, like, 12 or 15 videos yesterday, total. I mean, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm getting a text message, what's going on? It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And I had so much fun. I had so much fun doing it, too. Hold on a second, let me respond to this. Obladi, oblada. Recovery life never stops. You know what I need to do as soon as I get done vlogging is I need to call my sponsor too. Oh wait, what is this? Okay, so I filmed all these videos yesterday, and at some point I I lit some candles, and it was like, I had such a good time filming these videos yesterday. But I was like, okay, these are the things, after I got like 2 videos in, I can't remember which video I filmed first. I think I filmed the wrapping video first, and then, because I was like, okay, I'll just do this, and then I'll do like, the rant video for Christmas Day, and then I was going to post those on Christmas Day, and then today when I got up, I was just going to film whatever I filmed, and then post those videos today. I think it was after the wrapping video, and I was like, well, Alex isn't going to be home for a while. Why don't you film a bunch of videos for tomorrow, for Christmas Eve, and then also for Christmas Day, and then all you have to do is vlog, and then you can just, you know, relax and hang out and whatever and all that kind of stuff. So, there were three things I wanted to do. Well, three things I wanted to do last night so that I could just like wake up and just really. I've had such a great day today. Today's been such a fun day, and I was so excited to come on here and vlog and tell you guys all about it. I mean, it's been simple, you know. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were talking about how they always like were like thinking that, you know, like they were going to be so much in life and whatever, and they were like their life is really small. And I said, you know, like, what's wrong with having, like, a small life? Like, you know, I have a very small life. You know, I just talk to my neighbors. Oh, the neighbor dog is barking. Talk to my neighbors. You know, watch my shows and stuff like that. And I have a very simple life, you know. And they're like, I know, but I always just thought my life would be, like, so much more. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, aiming for the stars and dreaming big. But I think it's also in, you know, oh my God, I was just talking about this on my rant because somebody said I cannot stand those reindeer, what do you call them? Reindeer, what are they called? Not ears. And the nose on cars. And this minivan just drove by and had it on there. So I think there's nothing wrong with like dreaming big. I'm a big believer in like dreaming big and, you know, having your goals and having your dreams and all that kind of stuff. But it's also about like, you know, being focused on the gratitude that you have for the things that you have in your life today, you know? And I think, like, for me, there was this prayer that I learned early on in sobriety, which was, it was a friend of mine taught it to me, and it was, help me to want what I already have. And, like, that prayer has really, really helped me through the years. I mean, there's always things I want. There's always places I want to go. There's always things I want to do. And I think, you know, that's just normal to want certain things or like certain things. Obviously, I'm a big shopper and stuff like that. But I think there's also a gratitude that comes in just loving the life that you have and being grateful for the life that you have. You know what I mean? So, okay, so last night I was like, I want to film these videos. At some point, I think it was like right after I got done with the wrapping video, I was like, okay, I'm going to film as many videos as I can for Christmas Eve. And then as many videos as I can for Christmas Day. But I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too concerned about the Christmas Day videos because I was like, the majority of people that watch my videos probably do what are spending, you know, Christmas with their families and stuff like that. So a lot of people probably won't be watching videos, but I want to get videos up for the people that don't have family to spend holidays with, or they're just spending holidays at home alone by themselves, or they don't celebrate the holidays for whatever reason. And so I wanted to put up videos for those people. So, but I was like, if you end up making one, you end up making one. So I ended up filming a bunch of those videos, and that was my plan to get that done. Then I had to wrap all the presents, but I was kind of saving, bit beside my mouth. I was kind of saving the wrapping the presents until today, because I was like, well, I'll just put a Christmas movie on and wrap the presents and stuff like that. Why do I keep on biting the side of my mouth? I did notice in my video yesterday, what video was it? It was like when I was like, I always like, so before I like post or schedule my videos, I always look at the beginning and the end of it. Because like, you know, with my vlog, I just reach over and turn it off, right? But my other videos, I don't. So I clip the part where you see me reaching over, okay? Or you see me start it. On my vlog, you see me start it and end it, right? But usually, like when I film that, I still do the same thing. I just cut that part off. So you just see me sitting here like this, you know, like, hey, you guys, it's Peter and I'm back, you know, like that. So I cut off the beginning of me. Okay. So I always look on the video right before I post it to see if I cut that part at the beginning and the end off. Major editing, right? And I was like watching a couple minutes of it, and I was like, your lisp is coming back. Like sometimes my lisp comes back. It's interesting. Tanya's usually the person that notices it the first. Alex sometimes does, but rarely. Tanya's always the first one. She was like, and it has something to do with my bite on my mouth. I don't know, like I don't know, but I noticed in my videos the last couple days I've been lisping a little bit more. It's weird. So when I was growing up, I had like a really bad lisp. Of course, kids made fun of it. I mean, you're effeminate and you have a lisp. And I was like in speech therapy. I couldn't say my S's and my T's and all that kind of stuff. It was, yeah. I will say that, like that alone, that speech therapy thing, I don't really talk that much about it on, I've talked about it a couple times on vlogs and stuff like that. That speech therapy thing, like, I can remember having, like, I can remember the speech therapist coming and getting me, and I think it was this girl from class, and us going to this office behind the principal's office to do speech therapy, and I remember, like, having to, like, wear the things and, like, you know, say certain letters and then all that kind of stuff. It was weird. I don't know why. I don't feel like I did it for a really long time. It's not like I remember doing it every year of elementary school. I remember, like, a year or two of elementary school. But I can remember her coming to get us out of some class, and I can see myself like walking past the front doors of the school, you know, and then right over there was the principal's office, and we would walk past the principal's office into this room in the back, and then it was like the odd, whatever she was, I don't know, speech therapist, and we would sit there and she would do these like exercises with us. But I can remember when she would come to pick us up from class, I remember her being really nice. I don't remember her being like mean or nasty or anything like that. But I can remember like her coming to the door of the classroom, and I was like, oh, there she is. Like, I didn't want to go. I was like real embarrassed. Like, it was, of course, yet something else that made me different. I think that's like one thing that we don't talk a lot about with schools. Like, anything that like, I mean, I think we talk about embracing differences and embracing uniqueness, but as a kid, like, the last thing that you want to be is completely different. I mean, when we grow up in a world that, I mean, it's 2024, and I know that, you know, there's books and movies out there that are about, like, you know, kids be different and all this kind of stuff, but I still think, I have to believe that the, you know, the conformity of it all is probably safer for a lot of kids. I mean, when I was in high school and stuff like that, I mean, all the popular kids and most of the unpopular kids dressed exactly the same. We didn't, okay? We stood out like a sore thumb. That was partly because we loved to dress different, and it's partly because we wanted to stick out like a sore thumb, you know? But when you're in elementary school, it makes it different. Because, like, in high school, I was like, you know, I don't, this is who I am. But in elementary school, I think it makes it really, really different. And, like, I have friends of mine that, like, whether their kids go to charter schools or their kids go to private schools or whatever, like, they love the idea of uniforms. I don't hate the idea of school uniforms. I don't. I think that, I love the idea of having a school uniform and being able to, like, do something a little different to it if you want to or whatever. But I don't hate the idea of it. I think school uniform, for me when I was growing up, like, earlier ages, this is going to sound weird, but I can remember, like, my mom loved clothes. My mom absolutely loved clothes. So did my Aunt Kathy. I love clothes. I think that's why I wanted to be a fashion designer. And so, like, my mom would, you know, put me in cute little outfits to go to school and stuff like that. I was made fun of a lot for how I was dressed in like, elementary school. Like, they'd always be like, you know, Peter dresses so nice, and dressing so nice, like a sweater and corduroy pants, okay? You know, dressing so nice equaled, then I'm girly, because girls dress nice. And so then that reiterated the girliness of it all, you know? But I think this idea of anything that makes you so different as a kid is so terrifying, right? Like, I mean, I don't even really think about that until I was talking about it right now, just because I started my list. It's like this, that's how memories work, right? But until I was thinking about all that, I mean, I haven't thought about that speech therapy thing in a long time. But it was like all these different things that made me different, you know? Like, my parents, I can remember, this is going to sound so strange, but I can remember talking about, talking to other kids in class, like, the teachers would ask, like, I don't know why, it's so weird to me that, like, teachers would ask these questions back in the day, like, I don't feel like these are questions that teachers probably ask in the classroom today. But we would do, like, a lot of family tree stuff and whatever, and people would talk about, like, parents' ages. Well, my parents were older than a lot of the other kids in school. My parents got married when my mom was 23. And my dad, I think, he's 3 years older than my mom, so he would have been 26 at the time. Right? My dad's born on the year, so he's 84. Okay, so, and my mom was born in 43. Yeah, so he's 3 years older than her. Oh, that dog is so cute. Look at this little golden doodle. I cannot wait to see Preciosa tonight. Cannot wait. A couple people on my video were like, oh, it cracked me up how you pronounce her name. And I said, Alex, am I saying her name wrong? He was like, no, Preciosa. He was like, what, you're not saying her name wrong at all. But anyway, I was like, okay, because I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. I'm so excited to see. That is like the highlight of my Christmas Eve, okay? I don't even listen. No, I'm excited to see the family too. But most of all, I am so excited to see Preciosa. I am. I'm so excited to see her. I went over to the dog's pictures last night. I got kind of sad, but I didn't get super sad. This painting that we have of Boo Radley, I love to always, like, touch him on his nose right here. And so I, like, went over to the painting and I touched his nose. And I said, I missed you, Boo Radley, this year. See, I'm going to make myself sad, but I just kind of went over to each picture of each dog. And it does seem empty here this year. You know, it does seem empty this year, this Christmas, with, like, no little guys running around, no Christmas pajamas. We always got them Christmas presents and stuff like that. But my prayers last night, I was doing like a lot of gratitude prayers last night. And I was like thanking God for like all the time that we got to have with Boo and Tucker and Pee Pee. I'm grateful for it. You know, I'm sad that they're gone, but I'm grateful that I had all that time with them. You know, it was a lifetime with them. It was amazing. You think about this with dogs, it's like, you know, really other than like some of our friends and family, Boo and Tucker and Pee Pee were like, we were the only people they ever really knew, you know, except for friends and neighbors and stuff like that. I mean, which they didn't see on a regular basis. Like, you think about that, you know, like, Pee Pee lived to be almost 14, you know? And Boo Radley lived to be 15, you know? And Tucker was died 2.5 years before that. And you think about those lives, those are long lives, you know? 15 years old is a long life for a dog. And I think in that whole life, like, Boo Radley depended so much on us, you know? And, like, that Alex and I were, like, everything to him. And he was everything to me, too, you know? I'm trying to kind of, like, not stay stuck in the sadness this year, so I guess I just need to kind of move on from it. Not move on, but I don't need to sit in the pain on Christmas Eve, you know? I think there's, you know, a time and place to sit in the pain, and I don't think that right now is a time and a place to sit in, and I want to enjoy my Christmas Eve. So anyway, go back to last night. I feel like I'm all over the place. So I finished the videos, right? And so Alex was upstairs, and his AirPods in, he was like listening to TikToks. And I said, okay, I said, what are you going to do now? I was like, he was like, I think I'm going to go to bed early. He's like, I'm really, really tired. And I said, okay. I said, well, I want to finish these cameos. Man, let me just tell you how many cameos I did this. I'm so grateful for the people that booked the cameos. And I love doing the cameos. But I think I did. I mean, I think in the last 2 weeks, I've done like something like 60 or 70 cameos. Maybe more than that. Maybe 100 cameos. Crazy amount of cameos. And my pool crew lady, it looks like she got a new bike. It's like this orange bike. Did I tell you that they brought me like this trail mix stuff that had like salt in it and all this kind of stuff? Oh my god, it was so good. I ate almost the entire thing. I know. Listen. that was the other night. I don't know how. I did get on the scales today, but I'm like doing okay. I'm kind of surprised. But so that was, I want to talk about that too. So last night, like, I have literally like nothing in this house to snack on or food or anything like that. See, that's why I can't have stuff like that in the house. You know? I don't know. It's Chex Mix, like, it was like pretzel sticks, peanuts. What else did they have in there? Chex cereal. I don't know. And then it was kind of salty. Is that unhealthy? I don't know. I didn't eat the whole thing, but I ate a lot of it. But, I mean, I'm doing good. Like, I mean, I haven't gained any weight or anything like that. I've been doing good. And so, last night, I was so hungry, and it was so late, and I was like, I'm going to have to order something because we have nothing in the house. The other night, I went through the cabinet. Okay, so I've been cleaning out the kitchen pantry again. So I cleaned the coffee area out, and so I went through, and I had, I mean, all these soups and all this stuff in there. We had rice from like 5 years ago, this huge bag. When we used to, I mean, it was like when we used to make the dogs like chicken and rice and stuff like that. So I went through this pantry. I mean, okay, some of these cans of soup, you guys, were expired like 3 years ago. And I went through and I just like got rid of all this shit. Well, I literally have like 2 cans of beans, and I had at the time 3 cans of soup, and it was the plant-based, I can't remember the brand, Gardein, I think it's Gardein, the plant-based chicken and noodle soup. Well, I don't remember when I had it last, or what I thought of it, or anything like that. But I was kind of like, I want a peanut butter sandwich with that, but we have no bread and we have no peanut butter. So I was like, well, you're not, okay. So last night I made this chicken noodle soup. That's her brother. It's his new bike, because he's riding it off. Merry Christmas! I love the stuff that you guys gave us. It had lots of salt, but it was delicious. Your card was so funny, too. Have a good one. She's so sweet. The card was so hilarious. She was like, it was like this old-timey card. I was going to read it to you guys, but anyway, it said, to my dearest members of the such and such community, Peter and Alex. It was like very serious at first. And then it was like, you guys add the perfect amount of spice and gossip to the neighborhood or something like that. I can't remember what it said. spice and people gossiping about, and she put in parentheses, like, your brunch. The camera stopped. Did I tell you guys about that? She said the gossip, and she put in parentheses about your brunches. Did I tell you about this? Okay. So there's one guy in the neighborhood, he was talking to her husband one day, and he was like, that's Peter and Alex. We were leaving, we like waved to him. He told me this later. And so this was a big joke at the pool all summer long. He goes, that's Peter and Alex. And her husband was like, yeah, I know them real well from the pool. And stuff like that. And he was like, they're going to brunch. They go to brunch every Sunday. And he goes, that's what the gays do. Her husband thought that was so funny. He's like, we were at the pool, and he was like, can you give me a list of what the gays do so I know? So anyway, though, but then she was like, and it turned kind of serious, and she's like, no, but seriously, or like, she was like, on a serious note, she was like, having you guys as neighbors is just, she said all this really sweet stuff. It was really, really sweet. I love them so much. We're counting down to the pool opening. Oh my God, we gotta look it up. When's the pool opening? We got, now December's almost over, so we got January, February, March, April, May. We got, oh my God, only 5 months. Can you even believe it? And the pool might open early, so it's like 4.5 months. Because sometimes the pool opens early. I'm so excited. We have 157 days. You guys, we can do it. 7 hours, 35 minutes. We can do it. We can do it, baby. Okay, so I had the chicken noodle soup last night. That was when I took a break from doing the videos. Or maybe that was after I got done with the videos. I mean, was uploading videos, till like 4 o'clock in the morning. Because I had all these videos. I was uploading them, so I could just post. So anyway, I ate the soup. I think that's when I did cameos. I had to get a bunch of cameos done. I was like, I think I have like 1 cameo left to do, and it has nothing to do with the holidays. So I got all the cameos done, okay? And, got all the cameos done, and then I was like, oh my God, I still have to wrap these presents. And so I sat down there. Well, I bought all these bags to wrap the presents. And honestly, I put on the Christmas Carol, the Disney version. And I wasn't even to the first ghost, and I was done with the presents. They were all wrapped and done and everything. I was like, oh my God, that took no time at all. I got rid of all those presents done. So then I was like, oh, I can finally relax. It was so nice. And at that point, it was like 12:45. And I've been like sitting on the floor, filming videos, sitting on the floor, wrapping presents and all this kind of stuff, outside, inside. And so I was like, I'm taking a shower. So I went upstairs. I went down the basement. I was doing a bunch of laundry too, like towels, sheets. I washed the gray. Something on my hand. What is? Oh, it's from brunch. So I was like, what's that smell? It's like onions from like my sandwich at lunch. So I went and I washed the gray bamboo sheets because I'm going to put on the new comforter, the new Christmas. I was going to wait until next year. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Use it now. You bought it now. Use it now. And Alex really liked that one. So I was going to put the red sheets on. And I love the red sheets next to that, but aesthetically they look pretty. But the gray bamboo sheets, chef's kiss. Those bamboo sheets are so comfortable. We have a green pair. I'm probably going to get a white pair for the summer. The bamboo, I am sold on the bamboo sheets. I do not know who you are out there. There was a couple of you that were trying to get me to buy the bamboo sheets. Man, y'all are some influencers. No, seriously. Like, I am sold on the bamboo sheets. Like, I will probably only buy bamboo sheets going forward. And so I washed the bamboo sheets last night. They're ready to be put on the bed, so I'll be doing that after all this. I just have to change the sheets and then put the comforter on. It'll be real easy. So that'll be kind of fun to get into bed tonight, with like fresh new sheets and comforter and stuff on Christmas Eve. And so I took a shower and was doing loads of laundry. And then I read the books. I read the Christmas books last night. And then, what did I watch? Oh, I watched Elsbeth last night, so I'm completely caught up with Elsbeth. I looked up yesterday if the Housewives are on this week, and then I felt like I saw something that said that they weren't on this week. So I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. So I watched Elsbeth last night, and then it was getting later. I talked to a bunch of people on the phone last night. 4 or 5 people I talked to on the phone last night. Caught up with people. It was fun. And so then after that is when I read the books, talked to them, then I watched Elsbeth. And lit the candles and all that kind of stuff. And then, I lit the candles before I read the books. So, the house smelled so good last night. I've been saving, like, my favorite happy waxes. This is why you don't save shit, okay? I've been saving my favorite happy waxes, which are, like, the gingerbread and the snickerdoodle, until, like, Christmas. And last night, I, was like, oh my God, you have, like, 2 bags of each of them, and it's Christmas and you haven't used them. I was like, use them. It's Christmas, use them, So I used those last night. The whole house smelled like snickerdoodles and apples. It was fantastic. And so if that's what you want your house to smell like, I love that smell at Christmas time, you know? So anyway, so then after that, I wanted to finish That Christmas, which is the new Netflix Christmas movie. It's like trending top 10 on the Netflix movies. It's an animated movie, and it's about Wellington Wellington on the Sea, the city Wellington on the Sea. Okay. Y'all know I don't love the animated movies, okay? This movie is so cute. It is so cute, you guys. And it starts off, so Santa narrates the whole thing, okay? Santa narrates the whole thing with Dasher, who's like the one deer that's like still working with him that night. And he ends up, it's about this town that has a blizzard on Christmas Eve. It is so funny. It is so sweet. It's so endearing. Of course, I found myself crying. It is really, really good, you guys. I would highly, highly recommend that. So I turned that, after that was done, I had like an hour and 15 minutes of it left. It is really, really good. It's really good. And I don't love cartoons. So this is like a cartoon like I would watch again, like year after year. It's cute. And it's really about like the true meaning of Christmas. So if you're looking for a Christmas movie, I would highly recommend that. And about loneliness at Christmas, and you know, it's all these, like, it's like, it reminds me kind of like the Christmas version of In and Out, if that makes sense. But because it like deals with a lot of like emotions. It's got like this kid that's like, he's new to town, and like his dad is like, his parents are divorced, and he's like all alone, and anyway, watch it. If you like Christmas movies, watch it, and you haven't. It's not just a cute Christmas movie, like it's a meaningful Christmas movie. A meaningful movie, you know, in general. I loved it. The people that played the parents, like there's like these 6 parents that have to go to this wedding. It is hilarious. These parents are like, they crack me up because they are so, like, I love when you watch kids movies and they portray the parents like so accurately. Like the parents are portrayed like I feel like I know them. You know what I mean? So anyway, I watched that, and then when I got that done, I was gonna like start something else. It was late, and so last night I said to Alex, like before he went to bed, I said, "What do you want to do tomorrow?" And he was like, "I thought we were just gonna like kind of hang around and relax and whatever." And I said, "Okay." And I was like, "Do you want to go to brunch tomorrow?" He's like, "I would love to go to brunch tomorrow." I was like, "Let's go to brunch tomorrow." Years ago, I feel like we used to go to Patachou on Christmas Eve. So I was like, "Let's go to brunch tomorrow. Let's go to Cafe Patachou." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Are you gonna get up early enough?" I go, "They close at 3. He goes, "You're staying up late tonight. I know what you'll do. You'll watch all these Christmas shows and stuff." I was like, "Listen," I go, "I will be up early." I actually got up earlier than him today. So, because I was super excited about Christmas Eve. So, after I got done with That Christmas, I had all the candles lit and stuff like that. And so, I was like, oh, I forgot to blow the candles out. So, I could just like sit here. So, I blew all the candles out and turned the wax melt off so I could sit there for, I like to sit there before it's like, you know, completely out. And so I sat there, and at the top of, like, when you're sitting in the chair, like, the sliding glass doors are there, but at the top are, like, 3, probably 4 foot by 3 foot paneled windows, and then this huge, like, you know, triangle window. And it was kind of windy last night. I could see, like, the trees bending in the tree, and it was just, like, I was just sitting there in silence. It was so pretty. I felt so peaceful and so serene in that moment. And then I went to bed, and, I took no nap last night, and I was, to be honest with you, it's so weird because when I went to bed, I was like, I drank a cup of Sleepy Time tea as I was finishing that movie. Or not Sleepy Time tea, what's that called? I shared it with you guys the other day, the Night Calm tea or the Dream Time tea or whatever. I don't love that one. It's not my favorite. The Twinings is my favorite. But anyway, I drank a cup of that, and I got to bed, and I was, like, still so wired. I was so excited about tonight. I just love, it's not even about, like, it's funny because, like, I'll say, like, I'm excited about being with family, which I am, or I'm excited about watching movies or finishing the books, which I am. It's just the feeling of Christmas. I've always, like, ever since a kid, like, just gotten so excited on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is, like, my favorite compared to Christmas Day. I love Christmas Day, too. But Christmas Eve, I just always get so excited. It's just, like, so magical and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I went to bed last night, and I thought, I feel like somebody is standing out there in the end of my driveway that I can't see. They are. Did you just hear that? Because this guy walking. Hey, how are you?
We're good, thank you.
You look like you're all dressed up nice for Christmas Eve.
Now going to the daughter's house for, I don't know.
Well, have fun. Don't party too hard.
No, I'm driving.
Okay, good. Have fun. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
I've never seen that guy before in my entire life. He was real nice, though. He don't like black slacks and like this blue sweater with like this button down underneath it. He's like my dad at his age walking this dog. He was real sweet. Anyway, what was I saying? So I went to bed last night and I was like, I'm like wired for sound. I was like, there is no way that I'm gonna fall asleep. I was like, I am so like excited about Christmas Eve and stuff. Like I'm literally a kid at Christmas time. I was like, I am so excited about Christmas Eve and stuff like that. And I was excited about going to brunch with Alex today, more like than on just a Sunday. I don't know why. I was like waking up on Christmas Eve. Oh, and I was like, I got all these videos. I just post. Christmas presents are wrapped. I could just pop them in the car. You know what I mean? And get some treats at the grocery store for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Like when we come back here watching movies, I didn't buy too many treats. I was really good this year. I was really good. Usually I go all out and I buy like the frozen pizzas. I did buy cinnamon rolls. Okay. I did buy cinnamon rolls, but I'm not going to be... I got 4 cinnamon rolls, and they're not big ones either. Here he is coming the other way. But I did really good. I bought a ginger shot to drink because I was like, I don't want to get sick over the holidays. So I bought a ginger shot, and I'm going to have that with my like emergency and vitamin C in the kitchen here just a little bit. What else did I buy? I bought some of that. It's not my favorite cheese, but it's the only kind that they had in like the little packages of it. The one that Caroline loves, the Tillamook cheese or whatever. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I reviewed it on my, she was like, this is the best cheese ever. It's not. It's crap cheese. Caroline doesn't know what she's talking about. I think it's Tillamook or something like that. That's about all I got at the grocery store. But I was just excited to be, you know, like Christmas Eve and whatever, and that I was like so prepared, you know, because I was like, my worry was that I was going to want to film a bunch of videos today, and I was going to be like in this rush, like you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this, and then I was like, I can't enjoy the day because I'm so rushed, you know. I do that a lot, and then like before I know it, it's like I'm sitting somewhere and we're halfway through dinner, and I'm like, I'm just starting to relax, and I was like, like going into 2025, that's one of my goals, like. I don't really allow myself to enjoy a vacation until, like I've said this before, until I'm sitting at the airport and, like, everything's done. And I'm, like, in my mind thinking, if you forgot something, you're just going to have to get it there because it's too late anyway, right? I really want to change that going into 2025. Like, whatever it is, getting ready for a holiday or whatever. Like, I really want to enjoy the process of it. Like, yesterday, getting prepared for being able to, like, I mean... take a day off. I mean, like, not filming, like, 4 or 5 videos. Filming the vlog, to me, is, like, I just love talking. I love doing videos on all the channels, but, like, being able to have that all prepared and just vlog feels like a nice reprieve a little bit. And so, but yesterday, when I was, like, doing that and I mean, before I started, I was like, oh my god, like, I had made a list of all the videos I wanted to film for, like, the next 2 days. And it was, like, I was like, okay, so if I film a video on every channel today, this was on Monday, right? If today I film a video on every channel for the next 3 days, not counting the vlog, that's 18 videos I have to film. And I have to wrap all those presents. And I have to clean the house. And I have to do all this laundry. And I have to do all these cameos and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, it's too much. But I had such a blast yesterday. I didn't feel stressed about it, you know? I had Christmas movies on in the background the whole time. I just didn't feel stressed about it. I had so much fun, you know? It's so funny because, like, all these cameos, I just was, like, cracking up. I got some really deep cameos from people, and it was like, I really enjoyed doing a couple, like, recovery cameos that people reached out to me about being sober and, like, this being their first Christmas sober and things like that, and I don't know, it just was like, yesterday was completely different. I like really enjoyed, you know, I've heard this saying for a long time, just trust the process, enjoy the process, whatever that process is at that moment, whether that's preparing for a vacation or taking a day or 2 off, or, you know, the process of spending time with your, you know, family during the holidays or whatever. And yesterday I just was like, this is what I'm doing today and I'm going to enjoy it. And every video I made, I had so much fun doing it. You know, everything, it was so weird because my Peterisms videos were like about holiday triggers and how to get through the holidays. They were those meditations. And it was just like, I don't know, it's just thinking back on past Christmases. I had so much fun making videos yesterday. And even like wrapping the presents, I kind of had fun doing all that. And I was like thinking about each thing that I bought everybody as I was like putting it in the bags and stuff like that. And you know, Christmas Carol was on in the background. And then doing the cameos was, I mean, yesterday was like really, I just enjoyed the process of like preparing. And then got to get up today and it was like, I don't really have a whole lot to do today, you know? So Alex and I went to brunch. And it was us, and there was, when we walked in, there was like a 10 top, which there's hardly ever 10 tops. I mean, that's a huge table for pas de choux. It's like maybe 2, maybe 4 people max. There was a 10 top in the corner, like a family. And then it was us, and then right next to us was a table of 2 women. And we got there at like 2 o'clock, which is early for us. And, because they closed at 3. And it was like pretty dead in there. And then we, like, I would say 10 or 15 minutes later, a mother and son came. We see them in there all the time. And they sat next to us by the window. And then there was like another family that was leaving when we got there. It was dead. It was absolutely dead. Got the same thing. I got the Fat Rabbit, which is a vegan sandwich with extra onions. Subbed the ricotta cream cheese for the herb cream cheese. And I got it on an everything bagel, not toasted. And with chips, and I ate half of it. And I got the coffee. And the coffee today, boring for Christmas Eve. They're not open tomorrow, by the way. Hazelnut. Boring. Hazel. What? This was my mother's favorite. I can remember, well, back in the day, they didn't have like tons of, when you would get like flavored coffee. You know what I'm talking about, like ground flavored coffee? They didn't have tons of flavored coffee. And I remember I'd come over to my mom's house, and that was when I did, oh, I have to tell you guys something. That was when I did not love, like, flavored coffee. I forgot to tell Nikki this, too. Nikki's gonna die, because we were talking about gas station coffee the other day. That was when I did not love flavored coffee. I mean, I go kind of through phases where I like flavored coffee and then I don't. But I would come over to my mom's house. Do you guys remember, they would make those little packages that were like, she'd always put them in my stocking and stuff. Do you guys, if you're coffee drinkers, you'll know what I'm talking about. They were like one package of ground coffee, like little package. It looked like, you know, the big sizes of them, but it was just like a miniature version. So it would be like one serving for like one basket of ground, like to make a pot of coffee. She would buy those, but she would buy like the flavored ones. And so I'd come over to her house and she'd be like, guess what I have? Hazelnut. And I'd be like, okay, Mom, like hazelnut is not my favorite. It was never my favorite. And I still, to be honest with you, it's still not my favorite, but it's what we got. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Okay, so where were we going the other day? Oh, we were going to Alex's mom's house. On the way there, I had him stop at this gas station on the street. Nikki and I were just talking about gas station coffee. Okay, I mean, my friends in recovery, we talk about gas station coffee all the time because back in the day, I mean, there weren't, you know, all the Starbucks, the Dunkin' Donuts, the local coffee shops. It was gas station coffee. And, you know, as a person in recovery, that's what you get. You know, you go in there, and it wasn't even like the Speedway cups. It was like I love to go into a gas station. This is like one of my favorite things, okay? On a cold winter night, because I got sober in the winter. On a cold winter night, to go into a gas station, I was telling Nikki this, she goes, exactly, burnt coffee. You go into a gas station at like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? You're on a road trip or you're out doing something or whatever. And then you walk in there and the guy's like behind the counter, like rolling through his phone or, you know, reading the paper or something like that. And you're like, do you guys have any coffee left? He's like, oh, I put some on a couple hours ago. It's probably not good, but you can, you know, if there's any left. And you go back there and they have like one size of coffee cup, okay? And the coffee cup is like just a white styrofoam coffee cup and it's pretty big, right? And then you can see there's like the very bottom of there's like literally grounds in the coffee cup. And so you pour in the very end of it, and you turn off the machine. It's literally like decaf on the left, okay? Regular on the right. And it's like orange top to the decaf or green top on the decaf. You know what I'm talking about, okay? It's not like the fancy machines they have now. That's my favorite kind of coffee in the entire world, okay? And then you pour the very last in, and it's like, and it tastes so rusted. It tastes so rusted, busted, and burnt. It tastes rusted, busted, and burnt. And that is my favorite coffee in the entire world, okay? So Alex stopped at this gas station up the store the other day. I didn't realize it was a 7-Eleven, okay? I have been online on like Amazon and stuff looking for gas station coffee K-Pods. I was like, there has to be like Shell Station, Circle K. Is there? I don't know if there is or not. But I was like, I know this is going to sound so bad when I say this because I'm not trying to diss this company because I love their coffee. But the closest brand that I have come to gas station coffee is Community Coffee. Community Coffee kind of gives me the aura of gas station coffee, the regular blend of Community Coffee. So I go in there, got my fountain pop, and I'm coming back and I'm looking at stuff like, is there anything I need to get to take to my mother-in-law's house? That would be kind of fun and whatever. And they have this like area there, and it's all these K-Pod boxes. And I'm like, what is this? Like these coffees, what are this? And I look, and it's like they had 7-Eleven K-Pods, and they had regular, and they had extreme, and they had some other kind. And I was like, oh my God, this is 7-Eleven gas station coffee, K-Pods. So I got a pack of it. It wasn't that expensive at all. It was like $4.99 for 12. I couldn't believe it. I got the 7-Eleven regular gas station coffee. So I'm so excited about that. I haven't had it yet because I was saving it until after Christmas because I'm trying to get through my Christmas coffees. I'm trying to get through my Christmas advent calendar coffee from Aldi that somebody sent me. This is the hazelnut. I forgot. Last night I made the spiced gingerbread. I think maybe it was spiced gingerbread or spiced something, but it was okay. It was good. It didn't taste super spicy. I was like, oh, this will be kind of fun as a spicy coffee. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the gas station coffee. So the 7-Eleven coffee. So got that the other day. Yeah, so I don't even know what made me think about talking about that. But got that. And so I'm going to try that. But anyway, what was I talking about? Got the grocery store. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. But anyway, we went to brunch. Oh, the hazelnut coffee that we had my mom making the coffee and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. My mom, it was so funny. Whenever I would come over to my mom's house, she would always, like, before I even got here, she would make, like, a pot of coffee. Like, after we both got sober. So when I was growing up, if Troy is watching this, Troy always asks for me to sing this song on the videos. So if Troy's watching this one goes out to Troy. I haven't done this. I haven't sang this song in forever. But when I was growing up, okay, my mom and I, we watched the movie A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which is based on the book by Betty Smith. I don't think I've ever read the book. I have the Audible version of it, and I was going to watch the movie again. I think I'm going to try to read it this summer. I remember what it's about. It's about this woman, and it's like in the 1940s in New York City, if I'm 30s or 40s, and they're very poor, and they live in like tenement housing and things like that. And the mom, like, does laundry for people for money because the husband, like, he dies or something, and so it's a little girl. Her name is, like, Lucy or something. I'm sure somebody knows. Oh, now they're having all kinds of Christmas people show up in their neighborhood. I know it's not to their house, it's the neighbor's house. So, I can't remember what her name is. Tree Grows in Brooklyn, little girl. But anyway, her mom makes coffee. She doesn't make it in a percolator, but she makes it like in, percolator is the word. You know, like Andy Cohen, Watch What Happens Live, they have a word. The word's going to be percolator today. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. That's the song Troy always wants to hear. It's time for the percolator. I did a whole video on my Peter Does Stuff channel making coffee in the percolator, and I think I sang that song. I know somebody's going to say it's percolator. I don't care. Percolator. That's what I say. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. But anyway, my mom loved to make coffee in the percolator. So but they did something in the book, or in the movie. She put, like, I think it was vanilla in the coffee, like baking vanilla, or like charcoal, or she did put something in there. But my mom and I, because of that movie, what was the girl's name? It starts with a B. Bonnie or Bessie or, hold on a second. Who is texting me? My dad texted me. Aww. He was talking about chocolate sundaes and watching the movie Arthur. My dad and I used to always, on New Year's Eve, we would have chocolate sundaes. So my dad and I on New Year's Eve, because I always spent New Year's Eve with my dad when I was growing up, and so he was usually on call, so I would spend New Year's Eve with him, then my mom could go do whatever she wanted to do. And so we would be at his apartment, and do you guys remember the movie channel? Does it still exist? TMC, right? Well, it was different back then. It was like a cable channel. And so you could, like, at like 9 o'clock, you could, like, call in and vote for a movie. It was always like Stripes, Candy Shack, Arthur with Dudley Moore and whatever. And my dad and I love the movie Arthur so much. With what's her face, Judy Garland's daughter in it, Liza Minnelli. Oh my god, we love that movie. I haven't seen that movie in years. It's like my dad's favorite movie ever. And so my dad would be like, "Who should we vote for, Pete?" And I'd be like, "Arthur, Dad, Arthur, Dad, Arthur, Dad." New York City, the best that you can do. The best that you... Oh my god, I was singing and dancing and I hit the table. The best that you can do is fall in love. Do you guys remember that movie? Anyway, my dad and I would always vote for... so my dad on New Year's Eve would make... He would grill out steaks, New York strips. We would have the Stouffer's spinach souffle, which I used to love. I should get that. I haven't had that in forever. Wild rice. And then we would make chocolate sundaes for dessert. And then we would, like, vote on our movie. And then at midnight, after the ball dropped and stuff, I think it was 12:30 or whatever. Maybe it was at 10 o'clock they would put the movie. Maybe it was before the ball dropped. I can't remember. But anyway, whatever movie ever, like, you would call in and vote on the movie channel. And whatever movie, like, won, like, got the most votes, then that movie, like, they showed it. And so... the holidays, my dad always like reminds me of that, and we talk and stuff like that. He's always like, oh my God, do you remember that? And all this kind of stuff. So the best you can do is fall in love. People always ask me, like, when, like, they're like, do you see your dad and your stepmom, blah, 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 through the holidays and stuff like that? We always do Christmas with my dad and my stepmom. For the last forever, I can't remember, we always do Christmas with them after Christmas. So, yes, after Christmas, we do Christmas with my dad and my stepmom. And so she does stuff with, well, they used to do stuff with her dad on Christmas Eve, but her dad has since passed. And so now they do stuff with her mom. They used to do like her mom on Christmas Day and her dad because her parents are divorced. Her dad on Christmas Eve and her mom on Christmas Day, but now they do stuff with her mom. And yeah, and then we do Christmas after. I've done it like that with my dad because of like my mom and my Aunt Kathy and stuff like that. I've done Christmas with, so when I was growing up, I did Christmas with my dad like the 23rd. I would have like Christmas with, well, when my dad and my stepmom got married, I would do like Christmas with on the 23rd with my dad and my stepmom, and then like we would have Christmas night that night on the 23rd, and then he would take me over to my mom's house on Christmas Eve like mid-afternoon, and then I sometimes would see him like on the 26th again if we went on like a vacation or whatever. But my dad and I used to always do like Christmas, my dad and my stepmom and I, on the 23rd or the 26th. So when I was like in junior high and high school, it was usually on the 23rd. We would do it before Christmas. And they don't really go, my dad and my stepmom don't go out like at all, hardly ever. Like they don't really leave a whole lot. And so we would do it like in junior high and high school, we would do it before, like on the 23rd. Then after that, like around the time that I got sober before that, we started doing it like afterwards. So we would usually do it like the weekend after Christmas, or like the 2 weeks after Christmas or whatever, and we would like do the Christmas in front of the tree and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so but those New Year's were so fun with my dad. It's so funny because I was talking to my stepmom not too long ago, and she was like, yeah, your dad doesn't even make it up to New Year's. I mean, he hasn't for years. Like, I'll say to my dad, I'll be like, are you staying up for New Year's with your dad? Who like watch Arthur? I'll like joke with him. He'll be like, I'll be in bed by 8 o'clock. He's like, no, I've seen the ball drop enough times that I don't need to see it turn midnight. I'll be totally fine. My dad is asleep and out, but like my dad is, you want to talk about two different people that couldn't have more different schedules. My dad and I, like my dad has always his entire life, I think he considers 6 p.m. sleeping, or 6 a.m. sleeping in. No, true story, he does. When my dad is getting up, I am still watching TV shows. Okay? I mean, that is a true story. My dad and I have completely flip-flop schedules, which I think is so funny. And my dad will tell me straight, he'll be like, your schedule is insane, I don't know how you do it. And I say, your schedule is insane, I don't know how you do it. And he goes, touche. My stepmom's a little bit more of a night owl, she is. I mean, she doesn't stay up super late, but she'll stay up late and watch movies and stuff like that. She always has been. I actually was, one year for Christmas, my dad and my stepmom and I, we went to England, and we went to like Oxford, and we went to the countryside, and we stayed in a castle on New Year's Eve. And I can remember getting back to the room like after like midnight and whatever, and my stepmom and I watching The Rose with Bette Midler. I don't know why. It was like the only thing that was on TV, and it came on at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And she and I stayed. My dad was like asleep, and he was like, "Are you guys gonna watch this movie?" We're like, "Yeah." My stepmom was like, "Have you never seen The Rose before? This is my very first introduction to it." I was like, "I've never seen it." She's like, "You've never seen The Rose?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Okay, we're watching The Rose. You have to see it." That was my first introduction to watching The Rose. I loved that movie. In this castle out in the countryside in England for Christmas. I don't even know what year that would have been. 9th or 10th grade? I don't even remember what year that would have been. That was a fun trip, though. We had a good time on that. So, Christmas Eve seems so bizarre. Like, back in the day, it's weird, because, like, what time is it? 4:53. Back in the day, like, we would be going over to, like, my Aunt Kathy's house now. Like, this is late. Like, we would be going over to my Aunt Kathy's house now for Christmas Eve. My mom and I, we would have been home by, like, 8 o'clock. I feel like my uncle always went to bed early. So, like, and he and, like, my aunt and Kathy, and Caroline and Mike and stuff like that, like, as they got older, would open presents on Christmas Eve. But dinner would always be done pretty early. Like, when my mom was alive, I would say, like, the last 10 years of her life. We did Christmas at my aunt's house, like, early. Did we do Christmas Eve at my aunt's house? I was just talking about this yesterday, because we used to go out to restaurants after my mom passed away. Oh, you know what? No, we were in Gatlinburg those last 5 years before my mom passed away. I keep on kind of forgetting that. But before that, they would open presents, so we would leave pretty early. But now, when I was like in high school and stuff, like junior high and stuff like that, I can remember a couple times. I don't feel like we went to midnight mass, but we would go to a late at my aunt and uncle's church. They went to a Methodist church here in town. We would go to, it was a late service and it was all hymns. A couple years we did that. I don't remember why. How I remember that. Well, that was where the infamous conversation happened. I know I've talked about this on here, haven't I? It was my uncle driving. My aunt was in the front seat. Caroline and my mom and I were in the back seat. My mom's friend Diane had come to visit. And my mom's friend Diane lived on Beaver Island, Michigan her whole life. Well, she moved from Indianapolis to San Francisco, lived in the Haight-Ashbury. And then she moved to Beaver Island because her family had a house there, and she lived there for the rest of her life. She worked at Jack's Bar, she cleaned a hotel, things like that. Her and her mom lived there their whole entire life. My mom's closest friend, her diehard closest friend, Diane, died 3 years before my mom passed away. I'll never forget, I came into my mom's house. My mom was just sitting very stoic on the couch. And I said, "Mom, are you okay?" And she said, "No." She had found out, like, she called me and she had found out that Diane had passed away, and I was like, "Are you okay?" She goes, "No." And she said, "Who now?" I'll never forget this. My mom said, "Who now will know my soul?" But anyway, Diane had come to visit, and I was telling the story about, I've told this story before. This is part of, okay, this whole grandma search thing extends so far, you guys, okay? It's not just about our grandma going to prison. So, there's a story that my mom went to high school her freshman year with this guy here in town, okay? I can tell you guys this. Anybody can Google search it. There's a lot of information on it, okay? This kid was the same age as my mom. He went 1 year to high school with my mom. There he is. How are you? Look at that Christmas haircut. Your wife must be so excited.
Yeah. We're doing era Christmas, so I'm back to second grade. I got my GI short.
Aww, it looks nice.
I gotta take my glasses off, and I got an orange and white shirt that I wore.
Oh, era Christmas.
Era, yeah.
So do you guys, what year are you doing?
I'm doing 66.
Oh, you do a certain, each one is a certain year?
I just picked what era I wanted to do.
Oh, how, you guys always do such fun stuff. Well, have fun.
So I had to get the haircut, which will grow out, but sadly it's the same haircut I've had, just longer.
I think it looks really nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's funny that you called that your second grade haircut, and I think it looks nice. Hey, I have a bunch of treats for him. I told your wife, so I'll put him on the front doorstep for you guys, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I'm sure he'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, have a good Christmas. Stay warm.
Yep, you too.
Now I totally forget what I was talking about. Diane. Oh, okay. So, I told this story before, and I'm going to get off here in just a little bit because I want to relax. We have to leave here at 6:30. I want to relax for just a little bit before getting ready. And I also want to have this vlog, like, up and ready so I can just post it while we're gone, so I don't have to, like, wait until late. So, my mom's friend Diane was really good friends with this guy, okay? And I just talked about this not too long ago in here because I was, like, Google searching and looking at pictures. I have found so much more since then, okay? So, my mom's friend Diane was friends with this guy. Well, after his freshman year in high school, his father was murdered. I know there's, like, total true crime around me, okay? By his mistress. This guy was, like, huge, massive, like, wealth here in town. Was tied to Eli Lilly, which is the big company here in town. The pharmaceutical company. And so then this guy ended up going to Park Tudor, which at the time I think was Park. My neighbor across the street, he went there too. So Park Tudor is now like a co-ed. It's the private school in Indianapolis. It's like gated. It is like, they teach kids like Chinese, Spanish. I mean, it's like from like kindergarten on. I mean, I've had so many people that I've known that have gone there when they graduate. I remember talking to somebody years ago and I was like, where are you applying to colleges? And they're like, what? And I was like, they were applying to University of Colorado Boulder, and their sister applied to UCLA, and I said, where are you applying to college? And they go, what do you mean? And I go, well, like, what's your dream school? And they go, I don't know what you mean. And I'm like, well, don't you have like a dream school, like, you know, a school that you know you'll get in? And they go, that's not how we do it at Park Tudor. And I'm like, how do you do it at Park Tudor? And they're like, they ask us what school we want to go to, and that's the school I was like, so how many schools did you apply to? He was like, I only applied to University of Colorado Boulder. And I was like, did you get it? And he was like, yeah, of course I got it. He was like, I have like a 4 or 5. He was like, I speak 3 languages. I've done community service, like, internationally. I mean, like, they build you up to get into any school you want to. It's like this amazing school. And they take, like, and it's extremely expensive, but they also take, like, a lot of kids. And they do, like, let's say if you are, like, really talented in science, or like going to a science magnet, or talented in music or whatever, they do a lot of scholarship programs there too. It's a fantastic school. So anyway, but back in the day when my mom was in high school, it was Park for boys, I think, and Tudor for girls. It wasn't combined yet. And it was like and Tudor was, I think, a boarding school, and I think Park was like you went to it every day. Well, anyway, this guy ended up going there. Did I ask him about him if he knew him? I think I didn't. I think he said he didn't. But anyway, he ended up going to that school, Park. Years later, he stayed friends with Diane. Years later, he was adopted, okay? My mom's friend Diane would say, oh my God, you and him look identical. Like, look at the yearbook pictures. Well, when Diane came to visit that summer, she came for like 3 weeks with her friend from Beaver Island to visit. They rented like every movie in the world from the movie. I'll never forget that. We stayed up like every night watching like Peter Sellers movies, Alfred Hitchcock movies. I mean, Diane loved all the old movies. And so we would like sit up all night long, and they would just like smoke one cigarette after another, drinking wine. As a kid, it was so cool to me, you know, and they'd just be like candles lit, you know, windows open in the summer, and they'd be like, and Diane be like, okay, we gotta watch Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. And like, we would go to the video store like every day, and she'd rent like 8 movies, because on the island they had no VCRs and no cable, so they couldn't watch these movies. So she loved the idea of renting movies back in the day. That must have been like right when we got the VCR, I think. So I would have been like 12 or something like that when this happened. But anyway, so she brings out these yearbooks. Oh, the battery's dying. I gotta tell a story, so I'll go get another battery. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. It's starting to actually kind of get dark out. I know it doesn't look like it on camera, but it is. And it is currently just 5:02. I went inside, like Alex is like all snuggied up in his Snuggie. I was like, what are you watching? He goes, Saved by the Bell. I go, are you? And he goes, no, I'm watching All Rise. And I go, I thought you were going to finish season 3. He goes, where did you get that idea? He goes, I'm not even on season 3 yet. I go, well, what season are you? And he like paused it, and he goes, I'm on season 2, episode 15. He goes, there's like 23 or 24 episodes a season. He goes, I'm not anywhere near finishing. I go, oh, I thought you were almost done with it. I said, I told everybody on my vlog you were almost done with it. He goes, no, I still have like a season and a half left. And I go, do you like it? He goes, I'm obsessed. It's so good. But anyway, so when Diane and her friend came to visit that summer, Diane brought out the yearbooks, okay, from like Diane was a year behind my mom. So she brought out the yearbooks from when they were all in high school. And she brought out their freshman yearbook, and she showed my mom's picture, and she showed this guy's picture, okay? And she said, tell me they do not look like they are twins. They look like they are twins. It was bizarre, okay? I mean, even at whatever age I was at this time, I mean, it was like so, they look so much alike. It was so bizarre, like their eyes, their smile, everything. Well, my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa were very, very poor when my mom was born. There's a lot of rumors about what happened at that time. That my grandma getting pregnant was kind of like a mystery. It was kind of like a surprise and stuff like that. And that they were very poor. They couldn't even rent some apartments out, because the apartments, like, you had to pay extra to have kids there and things like that. Like in the summers, that's where my mom would say they were fostered off. They would be sent to family members to live in the summer, so that my grandma and grandpa could have like cheaper apartments and stuff. And then my mom's dad died when my mom was 4 of lung cancer. And so there were a lot of rumors around, you know, this and that with my grandma and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, not necessarily, there just was a lot of rumors about money. Like, even before she ever went to prison, there was like, how did she afford all this stuff? Like, you know, I don't know what we ever just thought, you know, like, I mean, my grandfather was a bartender. It wasn't like he had tons of money, and, you know, like, he was a bartender, you know. I mean, they were poor. They were very poor people. So my mom's friend Diane was convinced that my mom and this guy were twins, because he was adopted and he didn't know his birthday. It was a closed adoption. And so she was friends with him, and so, like, even when he went to Park. And so years and years and years, they had stayed friends. He would come visit her on the island and all this kind of stuff. And so she told my mom, like, that summer or something, she was like, he came to the island and he had his, like, some part of his birth record was released where it tells you, like, your birth date within 3 or 4 days. And his birthday was like 2 days, 3 days within my mom's birthday of the same year. And my mom kind of freaked out when she told her and was like, I just don't want to know a lot more about this. Like, I think they were both, like, equally protective and scared of knowing the secrets of my grandma a little bit. I don't know. So anyway, he, at that time, kind of wanted to talk to my mom a little bit about it, to know, like, if there was family history. Like, I don't think we weren't talking DNA testing. I mean, this would have been the early 80s. So it wasn't anything like that, you know? But, like, he wanted to, like, talk to my mom and stuff like that, and my mom was just kind of like, no, like, this is just Diane. Like, Diane's just, like, this is just Diane coming up with these conspiracies. Diane was a huge conspiracy theorist. Like, in my eulogy that I gave for my mom, I talked about Diane, and I said my mom and Diane talked, I mean, for, like, ever since I knew them, their biggest conspiracy was who shot John F. Kennedy, because they both loved John F. Kennedy. And I said that now they both know, like, you know, like, one of the relief I have in that my mom is gone is that they both know, you know, now who really did. Because they would talk about it all the time. They talked about all these conspiracies. Marilyn Monroe. I mean, my mom and Diane were, like, huge, specifically political conspiracy theorists about things. And so, but not, like, weird conspiracies, like, mainstream conspiracies. So anyway, so that just, like, went on and on and on. And that's, like, but I remember, like, that Christmas, my mom, I brought it up in the car, of course, because, you know, we're coming home from, like, Christmas. This is what I was talking about, the Christmas, why I talked about this and turned it into this, but the Christmas, all Christmas hymns service where you just sit there and listen to, like, you know, the choir sing hymns, and then you sing with them. And so we're on the way home, and my mom, I said, and Kathy, do you know about this? And Diane, blah, blah, blah. My aunt liked Diane, but she always kind of thought that my mom and her together were kind of like foofy. You know what I mean? Like, they just came up with all these, like, you know, they, oh my, I mean, that my mom and Diane would be like, I mean, hours, just la 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 la, and it would all just be about, like, your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie, you know, but they could sit there for 6 hours and talk about that. And my aunt, that's not what her and her friends did. You know, they talked about, you know, did you buy the new Christian Lacroix jacket? And, you know, like, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that my aunt talked about. I mean, my mom and Diane, it was like, oh my God, this and this, you know. So anyway, so I'm telling all this story, and my aunt's in the front seat, and she's kind of, like, looking down and whatever. And so she said something. I can't remember what she said. But finally, my mom was like, Kathy, if you know something. And she, like, whipped around, and she, like, looked at my mom, and she goes, whatever secrets mother had, she died with. Well, when I asked her that years later, after we found out that my grandma went to prison after my mom had passed away, and I met with her up at the Sullivan's, or not, what's it called? The steakhouse up the street. We went there for lunch one day, and she said, ask me whatever you want to ask me. I asked her about that, and she said, I can't get into it with you. She said, I can't get into that with you. I don't know why she wouldn't just say there's no truth to it. Why she said, I can't get into that with you. So, yeah. It's weird, and now I can't remember what that steakhouse is called. It was my aunt's favorite steakhouse. It's right up the street next to a Cafe Patachou where we go every weekend. Is it Sullivan's? Why can't, it's not Sullivan's. What is it? Anyway, last time I was there was with her, and I got a cheeseburger. It was before I was a vegetarian. So it's weird. I mean, there's, like, missing twins, you know, and, who that twin's adoptive father was killed by his mistress, and it was a huge true crime thing here in Indianapolis. And then we find out my grandma went to prison, and all this, you know, it's crazy. There's a lot that goes into all this story, you know. I'm very intrigued by it, especially, like, Caroline and I were talking about it, because, you know, whenever I talk about it, I always get, like, 1 or 2 people that'll be like, oh, you shouldn't, like, that, you shouldn't tell those stories. Caroline's like, it's our story. Like, these people are all gone. Like, there's nobody left. And then people will be like, yeah, and you should respect they're gone. Caroline's like, they're gone. It's us. It's us. It's just our story. Like, we can tell whatever stories we want to. They're our stories, you know? I love that about Caroline so much. I do want to know more about it. Like, you know, back in the day, I was more intrigued because it was my grandma or because it was my mom, and I thought it would, like, explain a lot of answers. Hey, lady! She's like, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
I know.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We're not going out to dinner until 8:15.
Where are you going?
Doc B's.
Where? Is that the only reservation you could get?
Well, are you filming?
I am, but hold on. Let me stop. Well, real quick, before I stop this. What's the steakhouse right up there next to Seasons 52 called?
Sullivan's.
It is Sullivan's.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm just going to re-gift. You can take them. You want one? Merry Christmas. No, seriously, you can. You can take one if you want.
No, that's okay. They look too pretty.
Okay, but you work on that schedule.
Okay.
That 5 o'clock is not going to work for the pool.
Well, you can supplement my income then.
Oh, babe, listen, okay? I will supplement your income for you to be out at the pool. At least one. You took that job so you can, like, you are retired. You are retired.
I know, but money.
I think you just love to work. You guys have a good night, okay? We were cracking up so much. So she retired and she took this job, this retirement, like this part-time job, okay? Just because she wanted to get out of the house and have some extra money and stuff. And then she loved the job so much, they offered her. She was doing 2 days a week, okay? Well, it started 1 day a week, and then it ended up being 2 days a week, 10 hours a day. And then they offered her a manager position. So she took this manager position, which ended up being 40 hours a week. And she's like, I literally retired from my lifelong career. She was a school teacher. She's like, I retired from my lifelong career to end up becoming a manager in retail and retirement. And she's like, I love what I do, but I don't want to be a manager in retail, you know, in my 60s. It's not like, I just did this to get out of the house 1 or 2 days a week. So last year, she's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So she got a different job in a completely different field. And so when I was talking to her, I said, girl, we're counting down to the days to the summer. I said, how many days a week are you working? You're just working like one. Like, she's supposed to work 1.5 days, right? She goes, well, I just looked at her. I started shaking my head. She started laughing so hard. She said, I was doing 1 day, and then it was 1.5, and now I'm up to 2. She goes, but I'm thinking about picking a 3rd day. I said, no, ma'am, listen. I said, by May, you're going to need to pick. She started laughing so hard. She goes, well, I'll be home by 5. I said, 5 to go to the pool? I go, what did you retire for? Because her husband retired. He just plays golf. He's like, I don't know why she got a part-time job. He was like, she didn't have to get a part-time job. We're fine. She's like, I know, but I like a little extra money for this and whatever. And he's like, I'm not getting it. Because she always jokes with him about getting a part-time job. He's like, I'm not getting a part-time. He's like, I retired so I could golf and do the things and play tennis and do all this kind of stuff. I'm like, you need to take a note out of his book and just be retired and go to the pool with me every day next summer. She's like, I know. She's like, but I really do like this job. I go, that's the problem. You get these part-time jobs and you end up loving them. She's like, no. And then she looked at me and she goes, they offered me full-time. I go, don't do it. I said, do not do it. She's like, I know, but I really, really like it. She's doing like, so she was doing retail. Now she's doing something that's like really like giving back, kind of like social service kind of stuff. She is amazing. I love her. She's so funny. And then she came up here, and so she was telling me what they're doing for Christmas Eve. They're going to this restaurant and stuff like that. I bit the side of my mouth. And then tomorrow they're not doing anything because her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend are sick. And so she's like, we were going to go and do Christmas with them and, you know, his family. And she's like, but they're sick, so we're not doing anything for Christmas tomorrow. And she's like, and I love it. She goes, I have said no and turned down so many things this month. She goes, I have just stayed inside. And so we talk about shows, and I was like, have you watched, because Black Doves loved it. I said Cross. She goes, that's the one that we haven't watched. We were talking all the shows. So then I was telling her, because these things that I bought at Costco, y'all, I never even took the price tags off of them, okay? They have these big price tags on the front of them. And so she goes, they're really pretty. And I said, I didn't take the price tags off. And she goes, oh, she goes, we could still re-gift them. And I said, do you want one? I said, you can take them, because I don't want to have to put them in the trash. So somebody wanted to take it. My neighbor across the street, she took all this stuff out of them to make her own thing. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's mysteries and grandma's in prison and twin uncles, twin brothers. I might have an uncle out there that I never even knew. Caroline might too, you know. So anyway, he is still alive though. But more to come about that. There's more to come about all that. But yeah, but that was like I think we would do like every once in a while for Christmas Eve, we would go to like Christmas like mass and listen to, I love that. That was one of my mom's favorite services, was like the all hymn services and stuff like that on Christmas. So maybe one year I'll do that again. I think tonight though, depending on what time we get home, I am going to try to watch the midnight mass at the Vatican and remember my mom, and I don't know. Maybe I'll just listen to a little bit. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a late night walk. Not like an exercise walk, but make a cup of coffee, walk down, you know, listen to some Christmas songs or my Christmas murder mystery and drink a cup of coffee, you know. Alex might want to too. He's been asking me lately. He's like, do you want to take a walk? I'm like, we could take a walk. He's like not an exercise walk though, just like a relaxing walk where we could just like talk and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, sure. So, yeah. It's going to be a good Christmas. It's going to be a good Christmas. Okay, I'm going to get off here and get this up so I can get this, you know, hopefully up in time before we leave. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Christmas Eve and a magically amazing Tuesday if you don't celebrate Christmas Eve. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. Listen, I just want to say I'm going to say this tomorrow and on New Year's as well. Thank you guys for this past year. You know, we're coming up on the end of 8 years of me vlogging on an almost pretty regular basis. It seems surreal to me that I have like vlogged consistently for 8 years. I mean, it seems like we're coming up on 9 years, okay? Of like next year will be the 9th year of vlogging. It seems surreal. It seems absolutely crazy. And you know, where this started and where it turned into and what it is now, it's like it's morphed so many times and I don't know what it's changing into, but if it just for the next 10 years was me sitting on the front porch talking to you guys or while I'm on vacation, I'd be completely happy and content with that. And I am really appreciative that you guys give me a place to come and rest my head at the end of the day and talk about what I did and share stories from my past. And this year especially, so many of you have been very vulnerable and shared stories of your life with me and reached out to me and you helped me with your stories and with your direct messages and your emails. And I really feel the love over here. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.